Sasa brass band, naomba tena mwanze kutukumbusha kwamba tupo kwenye shughuli hii muhimu ambapo sasa watu wote wana shauku kubwa pale atakapowasili Mheshimiwa Rais, basi tuweze kuiendeleza furaha yetu. Brass band, tafadhali tupeni ile heshima ya masikio. Naona mambo yameiva. Naomba tafadhali tu standby. Brass band mwe tayari kumpokea Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Mpe signal hapo. Naomba tusimame wote. Makofi mengi tumpokee Mheshimiwa Rais. Naomba tuendelee kusimama tafadhali. Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, kwa heshima kubwa ya tukio hili la kihistoria kwetu wa Tanzania, naomba uturuhusu tuanze ratiba yetu kwa kuimba wimbo wa taifa na ule wa Afrika Mashariki. Brass band. Tushangilie sana sana kwa heshima ya tukio hili. Mheshimiwa Rais, naomba tukae. Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, leo tumekutana kwa tukio kubwa la kihistoria katika taifa letu, ambapo leo utashuhudia uwekaji saini wa miradi mitatu kupitia msaada wa wenzetu wa Umoja wa Nchi za Ulaya, lakini pia kutangazwa kwa msaada wa kibajeti kwa bajeti ya 2022-2023. Ili haya yote Mheshimiwa Rais yaweze kwenda vizuri, tunaamini zote ni nguvu za Mwenyezi Mungu. Kwa hiyo naomba kwa heshima kubwa uniruhusu niwakaribishe viongozi wa dini waweze kutoa sala na dua. Na nianze na Sheikh Mustafa Rajab Shaban, Sheikh wetu wa mkoa. Karibu sana kwa ajili ya kutoa dua.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Mwenyezi Mungu Mola wa haki, muumba mbingu na ardhi, sisi waja wako kwa unyenyekevu mkubwa, asubuhi ya leo tumekutanika mahala hapa katika kikao hiki muhimu kwa ajili ya maendeleo ya taifa letu la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Mwenyezi Mungu Mola wa haki, tunakuomba kheri, tunakuomba baraka mwanzo wa tukio hili mpaka mwisho. Ibariki nchi yetu ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Mbariki Mheshimiwa Rais wetu wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, mama yetu Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, aendelee kuleta maendeleo katika taifa hili la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Wabariki viongozi wote, waandamizi na watendaji wote wa shughuli ya serikali yetu hii adhim. Allahumma inna da'awnaka kama amartana. Mwenyezi Mungu, hakika sisi tunakuomba kama ulivyotuamuru tukuombe, na wewe utatujibu. Fastajib du'aana kama wa'tana, tukubalie na utuitikie maombi yetu, na yote tutakayoyafanya leo kama ulivyotuahidi. Mwenyezi Mungu, innaka la tukhlifu al-mi'ad, hakika Mwenyezi Mungu uendi kinyume na ahadi zako unapoahidi. Na wewe ukitaka jambo ya Rabbal Alamin unasema kun fayakun, kuwa na linakuwa. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallim, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Naomba tumshukuru kwa makofi kwa huduma hii nzuri. Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, naomba sasa nimkaribishe Baba Askofu Profesa Yohana Masinga, Askofu Mkuu, ili aweze kuja kutoa sala.
Tuombe. Mtakatifu Mungu wetu, Baba wa Bwana wetu Yesu Kristo, tunayo heshima mbele za uso wako kwa siku hii ya leo. Tunakuja mbele zako tukisema asante kwa kuilinda nchi yetu. Asante kwa kumlinda rais wetu wa Tanzania, Mheshimiwa Dr. Suluhu Hassan. Asante Bwana wa majeshi, wewe ni Mungu uliye mkuu sana. Ulitupa mjakazi wako Samia ili aweze kuiongoza nchi hii kwa wakati huu. Ninaomba ulinzi kwa ajili yake. Bwana umlinde na namna zote ambazo wakati mwingine zinaweza kujeruhi moyo, mawazo, lakini Baba ukamuongoze. Linda taifa letu, na kwa tendo hili linalofanyika leo likawa ni tendo la baraka katika taifa. Ni katika jina la Bwana wetu Yesu Kristo. Amen.
Naomba tumshukuru Askofu Profesa Masinga kwa huduma hii kwa niaba ya makanisa yote ya CCT. Mheshimiwa Rais, naomba sasa ruhusa yako nimkaribishe Mheshimiwa Padre Rafael Maligite, Katibu Mkuu wa Jimbo Kuu Katoliki la Dodoma na mwakilishi wa Baraza la Maaskofu Tanzania.
Kwa jina la Baba na la Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu. Tuombe. Mungu Baba yetu mwema, muumba wa kila lililo jema, tunapojiandaa kuanza mwaka mpya wa utekelezaji wa shughuli za kiuchumi, tunajikabidhi kwako uwe msimamizi wetu katika matumizi mazuri ya kile tunachokusanya na tunachopata kutoka kwa wahisani wetu. Mpe Rais wetu Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan afya njema katika kuliongoza taifa letu. Wajalie hekima na busara Makamu wa Rais Dr. Philip Mpango na Waziri wetu Mkuu Mheshimiwa Kassim Majaliwa, ili wawe washauri wema kwa rais wetu. Wajalie mawaziri wote wasimamie wizara zao kwa weledi. Tunakuomba Mungu Mwenyezi, viongozi wetu wanaosimamia shughuli zote kuanzia mikoa hadi vijiji, watende haki kwa wale wanaowasimamia. Tunaomba hayo kwa njia ya Kristo Bwana wetu, kwa jina la Baba na la Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu.
Naomba tumshukuru kwa makofi mengi. Asante sana. Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, baada ya sala hizo, sasa ni wakati wa kupata maelezo ya awali, lakini pia na ya ukaribisho na kufanya utambulisho mfupi wa viongozi mbalimbali ambao wamekuja. Wahenga walisema unapotaka kuzungumza na watu ni vema ukawafahamu ni akina nani na ni watu wa namna gani. Utakuwa na nafasi nzuri ya kuzungumza nao. Kwa hiyo kwa heshima kubwa naomba nimkaribishe katibu wetu mkuu katika wizara yetu ya fedha na mipango, Mheshimiwa Daktari Natu Maamri Mwamba aweze kuifanya kazi hiyo. Karibu sana.
Your Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, before I continue with my welcoming remarks, allow me to introduce the guests who have joined us on this important occasion. Her Excellency herself, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Dr. Mwigulu Lameck Nchemba Madelu, Minister of Finance and Planning, Honorable Angela Jasmine Kairuk, Minister of State, President's Office, Regional Administration and Local Government, Excellency Manfredo Fanti, Economic Union Ambassador to the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Ali Suleiman Amir, Deputy Minister, President's Office, Finance and Planning, Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar, representing Honorable Dr. Saada Mkuya Salum, Minister of State, President's Office, Finance and Planning, Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar, Honorable Dr. Suleiman Said Jafo, Minister of State, the Vice President's Office, Honorable Abdallah Hamis Ulega, Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Honorable Suleiman Masoud Makame, Minister, Blue Economy and Fisheries, Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar, Honorable Mary Masanja, Deputy Minister, Natural Resources and Tourism, representing Honorable Mohamed Mchengerwa, Minister, Natural Resources and Tourism, Honorable Fatma Rajab, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, representing Honorable Dr. Stegomena Lawrence Tax, Minister, Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Excellency Cedric Merel, EU Head of Cooperation to the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Rosemary Senyamule, Regional Commissioner Dodoma, Permanent Secretaries present from URT and RGZ, Deputy Permanent Secretaries present from URT, RGZ, Dodoma Regional Defense and Security Committee, heads of diplomatic missions and international organizations, Mr. Emmanuel Tutuba, Governor, Bank of Tanzania, Head of Public Institutions presence, religious leaders, government officials from ministries, independent departments and agencies, regional secretariats, and local government authorities from the United Republic of Tanzania and Revolution Government of Zanzibar, private sector, and civil society representative. Na wasalimu kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. At this important occasion, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, for cordially accepting our invitation and joining us here today. Your Excellency, Madam President, first of all, I'd like to welcome you to this signing ceremony for 3 financing agreements under the new framework of cooperation between the European Union and the United Republic of Tanzania for a period of 7 years from 2021 to 2027. Your Excellency, Madam President, the new 7-year cooperation framework between Tanzania and the European Union began in June 2020 with the participation of sectoral ministries, government departments and agencies, non-government organizations, the European Union, and member state countries of the European Union, where 3 priority areas were agreed. The agreed priority areas were green deals, human capital, and employment, and good governance. Your Excellency, Madam President, you will recall that during your visit to Belgium in February 2022, you met Honorable Ursula von der Leyen, the President of European Union, and you were informed that the European Commission has contributed grants allocation to Tanzania to the tune of euro 703 million, which equals to 1.781 trillion in a period of 7 years. These funds have been directed to various projects in the country as per the priority areas of the new framework between Tanzania and the European Union. That is the Multi-Annual Indicative Program, MIP, for Tanzania. And this is for the period from 2021 to 2027, which is divided into 2 phases. The first phase has a total amount of euro 426 million, which equals to 1.07 trillion Tanzanian shillings, which is equivalent to 60%, and was planned to be committed for 4 years before the midterm review. The remaining amount, which is euro 277 million, equivalent to Tanzanian shillings 701.42 billion, will be committed after the midterm review. Your Excellency, Madam President, to date, the government, through the Ministry of Finance and Planning, has completed the formulation of 6 programs in a period of 2 years worth euro 394.35 million, which is equal to 998.57 billion Tanzanian shillings, equivalent to 56.1% of all funds allocated under the framework for the period of 7 years. The amount of 106 million euros, which is Tanzanian shillings 385.08 billion, has been allocated as a budget support aiming at enhancing public policy and regulatory reforms in respective sectors. These projects are implemented in 2 main approaches, which are budget support as a government preferred modality and direct to project funds through international organizations and civil society organizations in close collaboration with the European Union and sectorial ministries. Your Excellency, Madam President, the program which have been formulated to date under the MIP 2021-2027 are as follows. Number 1, gender transformative action in Tanzania with a value of euro 70 million, equivalent to 117.67 billion Tanzanian shillings, which is implemented by the Ministry of Community Development, Gender, Women, and Special Groups. The second one is Digital for Tanzania, an e-government support program with a value of euro 35 million, equivalent to 88.83 billion T shillings, implemented by the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology. The third one is Green and Smart Cities program with a value of euro 75 million, which is equivalent to 190.36 billion, implemented by the President's Office, Regional Administration and Local Government, TAMISEMI. The fourth one is Finance for Growth with a value of euro 63.35 million, equivalent to 160.79 billion Tanzanian shillings, implemented by the Ministry of Finance and Planning. The fifth one is Blue Economy for Job Creation and Climate Change Adaptation with a value of euro 110 million, which is equivalent to 179.20 billion, implemented by the Office of the Vice President, Environment, the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries, the Ministry of Natural Resources and Tourism, and the Ministry of Blue Economy and Fishery in Zanzibar. And the sixth one is Cooperation Facility, which is worth 6 million euros, equivalent to 15.23 billion Tanzanian shillings, implemented jointly by the Ministry of Finance and the European Union delegation in the United Republic of Tanzania. Your Excellency, Madam President, in terms of disbursement of the Budget Support Fund, as I speak, the government has received a total of euro 21 million, equivalent to 53.30 billion Tanzanian shillings under the financial year 2021-2022. Also, for the financial year 2022-2023, the government has received euro 32.48 million, equivalent to 82.44 billion Tanzanian shillings. Furthermore, under the outgoing cooperation framework, the 11th European Development Fund, National Indicative Program 2014 to 2020, formerly known as the 11th EDF NIP, the government of Tanzania has received a total of euro 13.628 million, which is equivalent to 34.59 billion, and specifically targeted for improvement of rural roads in the Southern Highland regions, implemented by the Tanzanian Rural and Urban Road Agency, TARURA. Therefore, Madam President, this makes a total of euro 46.11, equivalent to 117.036 billion, received under the financial year 2022-23, of which will be announced today. Your Excellency, Madam President, another modality of implementation of aforementioned projects is direct to project funds through international organizations from EU member states and UN organizations, also referred as complementary measures. Projects signed in 2019, 20, 21, 22 financial year are Gender Transformative Action, Green and Smart Cities, and Digital for Tanzania. European Union is in the final stages of signing contribution agreements on the implementation of projects through this modality. It is worth to mention few EU member states, international agencies such as French Development Agency, AFD, Belgium Development Agency, ENABEL, and Germany Development Cooperation, GIZ, which are expected to implement projects in the country. Some of the projects that will be implemented by these organizations include preparation of bankable projects in the city of Mwanza, Nyamagana, and Ilemela, and Tanga. The preliminary feasibility study has identified some possible bankable projects to be carried out in near future under blending finance. These include Tanga City Council, of which there is upgrading and rehabilitation of Mgandini Market, upgrading Kasera fish landing sites, and improvement of Mlango wa Chuma Market. In Ilemela Municipal Council, it will be refurbishing Mwaloni Market, upgrading fish landing sites, old and new Igombe, and upgrading Buswela Market. In Mwanza City Council, it will be refurbishing Nyakato Abattoir, development of Buhongwa Market, and upgrading of Nyegezi Machinga Market. In addition, these projects will also focus on several interventions on improving government service delivery and private institutions through using information technological study visits, strategizing on reduction of non-revenue water through reduction of water losses and access to finance. Your Excellency, Madam President, I would also like to inform you on the Zanzibar participation in the formulation of these projects. Among the interventions dedicated to Zanzibar under green and smart cities are construction of basic social infrastructure on Pemba Island with the amount of 5 million euros, equivalent to T-shillings 12.66 billion. Currently, the procurement process is ongoing to select an NGO that will implement the project. Further, the complementary support and agenda program is also focused on the following. An amount of euro 4 million has been allocated to Zanzibar to address gender-based violence, in particular for women and children. This project is implemented by UN Women in collaboration with the Ministry of Gender in Zanzibar. An amount of euro 20 million has been allocated for Zanzibar and mainland to enhance women economic empowerment through productive social safety net programs implemented by TASAF and SIDA. An amount of euro 6 million is allocated to support financial institutions such as Impact Fund to contribute directly through local finance institution and also indirectly through the financial sector business environment to increase women access to finance, promoting green and digital opportunities. Other funds amount to euro 5 million has been allocated for enhancement of women participation in leadership and decision-making processes. These funds aim to promote equitable social norms, attitudes, and behavior, promoting gender equality, and fostering at community and individual level. Under the new program of Blue Economy and Finance for Growth, an amount of euro 78 million and euro 33.35 million is allocated for complementary support respectively, where discussions are still ongoing on the interventions to be implemented in Tanzania mainland and Zanzibar. Your Excellency, Madam President, today we will sign 3 financing agreements for programs formulated in the year 2022. These are Blue Economy for Job Creation and Climate Change Adaptation, euro 110 million, Finance for Growth, euro 63.35 million, and Cooperation Facility, euro 6 million. These projects aim to improve the public finance ecosystem and booming blue economy sector in the country. In addition, as mentioned above, EU will today announce the funds disbursed for budget support. Your Excellency, Madam President, let me conclude by assuring you that the government will continue to work closely with the European Union to strengthen our historical and long-term cooperation ties. The strengthening of our cooperation with the European Union will continue stimulating development in various economic sectors and social services and provide employment and business opportunity for all parties. In addition, the government of the United Republic of Tanzania commits all measures to ensure successful implementation of the respective programs to achieve the intended benefits to the public. Madam President, I thank you for all your attention. Thank you very much.
Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, tunamshukuru sana Katibu Mkuu kwa kutoa maelezo ya awali ambapo amegusia maeneo yote ya ile miradi ambayo itafadhiliwa na msaada huu wa wenzetu wa Umoja wa Nchi za Ulaya, lakini pia hata matumizi yake, na amegusa maeneo mbalimbali na pia kuhakikisha kwamba mambo yote yatakwenda kama ilivyopangwa. Naomba tumpongeze kwa makofi mengi sana. Mheshimiwa mgeni rasmi, naomba sasa kwa heshima kubwa nimwalike kiongozi wetu wa ujumbe huu wa nchi za Umoja wa Nchi za Ulaya, Mheshimiwa Balozi Manfredo Fanti aje atoe maelezo. Your Excellency, may I now welcome His Excellency Ambassador Manfredo Fanti to come forward and deliver his remarks on behalf of the delegation. Manfredo Fanti, benvenuti tutti. Karibu sana. Karibu sana, hicho ni Kitaliano.
Asante sana. This is very nice. Your Excellency, President SAMIA Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Minister Mwigulu Lameck Nchemba, Honorable Angela Yasmin Kairuki, Honorable Minister, Honorable Minister Selemani Jaffo, Honorable Representative Deputy Minister Suleiman Amir, Honorable Deputy Minister Mary Masanja, Honorable Abdallah Hamis Ulega, Honorable Suleiman Masoud Makame, and also Honorable Governor of the Central Bank, Emmanuel Tutuba, and government officials, ladies and gentlemen, religious leaders and colleagues from the European Union. Habari za mchana. It is a great honor for me to celebrate the disbursement of 140 billion Tanzanian shillings grant to the national budget in the presence of Your Excellency and dignitaries. The disbursement of this budgetary support to the Treasury coffers indeed deserves such a symbolic communication event witnessing our close cooperation. This amount is part of the different EU grant budget support operations that we have put in place together with the government of Tanzania for the period 2021-2027, and which have a total budget of 637 billion Tanzanian shillings. There are different ways of contributing to the sustainable development of Tanzania. Some of them are very visible. If you directly finance a school or a hospital, there is a tangible infrastructure, and the proof of your contribution is really brick and mortar. But today, we are here about a different modality that we have agreed with the Tanzanian government, and as you said, this is the preferred modality by the Tanzanian government. And this is something that we have been working on together for years, and by contributing to the national budget and by aligning ourselves to the policies of the country, looking at its medium-term reforms. We believe in this approach because of the ownership it creates in the partner country. However, it has also a downside, the fact that we lose the external visibility of our funding because we cannot show something that you can concretely touch. But this is clearly not true today. The truth is that a combination of the two modalities is necessary, including also the development of private investment. With this idea in mind, the European Union has designed a new strategy that is called Global Gateway. Its aim is to contribute to infrastructures that can be transformative for the country in the fields of transport, energy, climate change, digitalization, education, and health. To catalyze such big investments, we intend to bring in public and private finance. This new offer was therefore developed with the EU member states, the European development banks, and the European private sector, all gathered under the single banner of Team Europe. A concrete example of the global gateway in Tanzania is the upcoming construction of the 88 megawatt Kakono hydropower plant in the Kagera region, worth 780 billion Tanzanian shillings and made possible by a grant of the European Union of 94 billion Tanzanian shillings. The deal was signed during the EU-Tanzania Business Forum in February this year. The EU is also prepared to partner with Tanzania in strengthening the port of Dar es Salaam as the East African global gateway. Together, we could aim to unblock the port's full potential, drive economic growth, and create a prosperous future for Tanzania and the entire East African region. Also, developing green urban mobility, including the implementation of the bus rapid transit system in Dar es Salaam and in other Tanzanian cities. We can enhance efficiency, reduce emissions, and provide accessible and reliable public transportation options for the Tanzanian citizens. Your Excellency, in that exact same spirit, we support your clear vision for economic reforms in Tanzania through raising foreign direct investments and creating conditions for private sector-led growth. The reforms your government has started have been noticed not only by the European government, but also by the private sector, which is showing a growing interest in Tanzania, and we are very happy about that. In order to contribute to these efforts, the European Union is making use of several financing tools. This is why we are using EU grants to leverage loans from European finance institutions, thus increasing viability and affordability of projects. This will be, for example, the case of the second phase of the water supply program in the city of Mwanza to start in the near future. We also provide financial guarantees to de-risk projects or line of credit with the same ambition of boosting investments. The Tanzanian shillings 700 billion credit lines announced during the business forum by the European Investment Bank to Tanzanian commercial banks for SMEs development, notably in the field of gender and blue economy, are examples of blending finance and guaranteeing loans, and that have already started contributing to the national agenda. Indeed, more than 50% of those funds are ready to be disbursed to these banks by the end of this month of July. More than 9,500 beneficiary SMEs have already been identified, signed contracts with the banks, and shall benefit from this funding, among which 3,500 are women-led. But these financial instruments are not the only ones in our array of tools. The budget support modality, object of our gathering today, obviously has a different objective, but we believe that the complementarity between support to the private sector and funding of the national policies may have a multiplying effect worth more than the sum of its components. The so-called budget support dialogue, one of which took place yesterday in these same premises, focuses more specifically on reforms in sectors like urban development, gender, digitalization, agriculture, finance, blue economy, and energy. These are indeed many, and in the future we might agree to focus on the most strategic ones to increase further delivery and impact. We hope that the EU grant contribution to Tanzania ambition can act as catalyzers in areas with the potential to bring in innovative growth opportunities. Given that such contributions are predictable because we commit over a period of 4 to 5 years, they may also help in planning of the country's development and favor adequate and additional allocations within the national budget. Your Excellency, as a conclusion to my remarks, allow me to come to a topic that I know is very close to your heart, the gender agenda. I congratulate you on the reform drive in this field. From school readmission policies to the formulation of the Generation Equality Forum program, your country is in the forefront of a new era for girls and women. With its biggest gender program worldwide here in Tanzania, worth 230 billion Tanzanian shillings, named Breaking the Glass Ceiling, and which has been so eloquently presented by the Permanent Secretary, the EU aims to showcase that we are not only an economic partner, but we are also a partner for values to bring more equality, more stability, and better tomorrow for the people of Tanzania. So, if I can conclude my remarks with a personal touch, I would like to say that we have been mentioning a lot of figures, a lot of billions of Tanzanian shillings, but what is also very important in what we do together is the human links that we are creating between us, the fact that we have such a good dialogue among us and that we are creating a friendship, and this we value very much. And then my very final word is to say that, as you know, I have come to the end of my mandate. I will be leaving this country very soon after 4 unforgettable years in Tanzania. And if it is sad to leave Tanzania, it is at the same time very good that I leave it with a sense that we have been doing a lot of positive things together. And one of these is, for instance, what we are doing here today. So I thank you very much for the brilliant cooperation that you have extended, not only to me, but to the people who are sitting there and who are really committed to work for Tanzania. Thank you very much for your attention, Mheshimiwa.
Asante sana Balozi Fanti kwa maelezo hayo. Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, Balozi Manfredo kwa kifupi kabisa amesema tunategemea kuwa mchango wa Umoja wa Ulaya kupitia mikataba hii utaleta chachu katika maeneo yenye kubeba fursa za kukua katika ubunifu. Aidha, mashirikiano yetu yanatabirika kutokana na ushirikiano mzuri wakati wa uandaaji wa miradi. Balozi Fanti pia amesema ametoa pongezi kwa juhudi za Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania Daktari Samia Suluhu Hassan katika mabadiliko ya kisera yanayolenga kuleta usawa wa jinsia. Aidha, Umoja wa Ulaya kupitia mradi wa Breaking the Glass Ceiling wenye thamani ya euro milioni 90 au bilioni 230 za Tanzania wanaunga mkono juhudi za Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Hapa tumshangilie sana kabisa. Lakini mwisho, kwa unyenyekevu mkubwa, anasema anaondoka Tanzania na moyo mpana na kuamini kuwa Tanzania itafikia malengo yake ya maendeleo. Aidha, anashukuru kwa ushirikiano mzuri ambao umezaa matunda mazuri. Naomba tumpongeze sana. Nirudie kusema Your Excellency, benvenuti tutti, karibu Tanzania. Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, kwa mujibu wa ratiba yetu sasa ni wakati wa wewe Mheshimiwa Rais kushuhudia uwekaji wa saini kwa mikataba hiyo mitatu. Na ili hayo yatendeke, naomba nimtambulishe kwako wakili msomi Zawadi Maginga. Yeye ni mkurugenzi msaidizi wa sheria Wizara ya Fedha, ndiye atakayeongoza itifaki pale. Kwa hiyo naomba sasa ni mwalike katibu mkuu wetu wa wizara hii ya Fedha ya Mipango, Dr. Natu Mwamba. Tafadhali naomba usogee. And also may I invite His Excellency Ambassador Manfredo Fanti to join the Permanent Secretary in signing the 3 contracts. And each contract will be signed separately. You will exchange the contracts and you'll show to His Excellency the President and show the public, and that will be the order for the 3 projects. Mradi wa kwanza ambao wanaweka saini ni uchumi wa blue, ambao una thamani ya euro 110 au shilingi 279.20 bilioni za Kitanzania. Sasa utasaidia katika kuleta mabadiliko ya tabia nchi katika pwani zetu za Tanzania bara na kule Zanzibar. Kwa hiyo wanaweka saini, na tuwe tunawaombea taratibu, kwa sababu mambo haya ni mazito. Muungano wa Tanzania, makofi mengi sana sana. Naam, baada ya kazi hii nzuri, naomba tena tuwapongeze kwa makofi mengi kabisa kabisa. Maana kama Mheshimiwa Rais anapiga makofi, maana yake mambo yamefika mahali pake. Wakatoliki Baba Mtakatifu akisema kule wote sisi tunaitikia. Na hii wanaita Roma Rokuta Kauza Fenita. Kama Rais amefurahi, wewe kwa nini usiwe na furaha? Piga makofi mengi sana kwa Mheshimiwa Rais tafadhali. Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania na mgeni wetu rasmi kwenye shughuli hii, hatua inayofuata sasa ni kutangaza ule msaada wa kibajeti, na hivyo basi naomba tena uniruhusu nimwalike Mheshimiwa Balozi Manfredo aje hapa mbele aweze kutoa maelezo ya hii mpango huu mzima wa tangazo nataka kulitoa hapa. Your Excellency Ambassador Manfredo Fanti, I welcome you again to the podium to do what we call the announcement of the budget support funds disbursed by EU in the financial year 2022-2023 and handing over of the official documents to the government. Karibu sana. Naomba tumpigie tena makofi mengi na kufanya kazi hiyo.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm very happy to announce that in the framework of our cooperation programs between the month of June and July, we have disbursed an amount corresponding to 140 billion Tanzanian shillings. And I said that this is just a part of our overall operations that will continue also in the coming years. So this is something that we are proud of because it is a result of a deep dialogue on policies with the government, and I thank you all very much for that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, basi anasema kwa kweli tamko hilo alilolitoa halitakiwi hata kuambatana na ushuhuda mwingine, kwa sababu tunaaminiana. Lichukueni kama ni jambo la kweli. Piga makofi mengi sana kwake. Na alikwisha mnongoneza Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Kwa mjibu wa ratiba yetu, na penda tu niseme Mheshimiwa Rais kwamba tukio hili limeshuhudiwa na wewe mwenyewe, lakini pia wamesikia wahusika ambao ni waziri wetu wa fedha na mipango, Mheshimiwa Daktari Mwigulu Lameck Nchemba Madelu mbunge, lakini pia na naibu waziri kutoka ofisi ya Rais fedha na mipango kule Zanzibar, Mheshimiwa Ali Suleiman Amea. Naomba usimame tafadhali Rais akuone kwamba uko hapa kwa ajili ya tukio hili. Yeah. Kwa hiyo kwa kuwatangaza hawa manake wamekubaliana kabisa kwamba mzee ametamka lilo la kweli. Baada ya hapo, Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, ni shauku ya kila mmoja humu ndani, hata wa Tanzania na huko nje, wakusikilize ili ukitoa maneno, heshima yote na maelekezo kuhusu tukio hili adhimu ambalo ni la kihistoria, la kitaifa, la kimataifa, na linafanyika hapa kwenye ardhi hapa ya Dodoma kwa Mama Rosemary Senyamule, mkuu wetu wa mkoa, ambaye kila siku anasema Dodoma ni fahari ya Watanzania. Kwa naomba nimkaribishe sasa Mheshimiwa Waziri wa Fedha Daktari Mwigulu Lameck Nchemba Madelu mbunge aje atoe maelezo mafupi na kukaribishe uifanya kazi hiyo. Tumpe makofi mengi sana Mheshimiwa Waziri.
Your Excellency, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Your Excellency Manfredo Fanti, EU Ambassador to the United Republic of Tanzania, my comrades, ministers and deputy ministers here present, both from the mainland and the Zanzibar, I recognize you all, permanent secretaries here present, Governor of the Bank of Tanzania, Madam Regional Commissioner, and all government officials here present, Excellencies, heads of diplomatic mission and international organizations, representatives from the private sector and the civil societies, my beloved religious leaders, my comrades from security organs, members of press, ladies and gentlemen, na wasalimu kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. At this important occasion, may I extend my sincere gratitude to you, Madam President, for accepting our invitation and joining us here today. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you in a special way for your tireless efforts to make it possible for our country to work with development partners in the development process. Madam President, you have unlocked a lot of negotiations and pending discussions which were hopelessly stuck for quite a while. And surely, you have become a cornerstone in rebuilding a healthy relationship with our development partners, and we can attest to that for we whom we are from the Ministry of Finance. Your Excellency, Madam President, Tanzania and European Union have fostered an exceptional bilateral relationship over 48 years. Throughout the years, our ties have flourished, and the EU has remained a close and steady partner to Tanzania. Under your presence and leadership on the Sixth Faith Government, we have witnessed remarkable achievements including Tanzania and the EU that have signed a new cooperation framework for multi-annual indicative program for Tanzania covering a period of 2021-2027. This framework signifies our commitment to collaboration and development with EU, with a resource envelope of 703 million euros, equivalent to 1.9 trillion. And these have been allocated in a 7-year period, which represents over 77 million euros compared to the previous national indicative program that was between 2014 to 2020. Madam President, during your tenure, we have also strengthened our relationship with European Investment Bank, which has been instrumental in financing development projects. Notably, we can mention the disbursement of $12 million out of $67.87 million for improvement of regional airports, which includes the Kigoma Airport, the Tabora Airport, Bukoba Airport, Sumbawanga, and the Shinyanga airports. The disbursement of around 10 million euros for the Lake Victoria Water and the Sanitation Program, bringing a concessional loan to a commitment of over 45 million euros to Tanzania. The reopening of opportunities for the European Investment Bank to support Tanzanian private sector, which has been your target every time, to the private sector, including commercial banks. The government has given a no objection to the European Investment Bank to advance soft loans to commercial banks, and this includes over 100 million to NMB, 150 million to CRDB, 20 million to KCB, and 7 million to EcoBank, and they are specifically directed to SMEs, women and youth. Your Excellency, Madam President, today again marks yet another significant milestone for our partnership as we witness the EU's commitment to supporting the implementation of the second year of a multi-annual indicative program for Tanzania. As you have witnessed the signing of the 3 programs, the Blue Economy, Finance for Growth, Cooperation Facility, which collectively valued at 179.3 million euros, equivalent to over 455 billion Tanzanian shillings. And these are going to support the budget together with the ongoing sector, private sector reforms, gender, digitalization, green and smart cities, blue economy, finance, and improvement of rural roads. And for my people who have been quiet for a while, let me say in Kiswahili, mama upewe maua yako. And without wasting time, it is now my honor to warmly welcome you, Madam President, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, to address this esteemed gathering. Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa unyenyekevu mkubwa, karibu sana.
Naomba wote tusimame tafadhali, tumpigie makofi Mheshimiwa Rais, tumpe maua yake kama alivyosema Mheshimiwa Waziri. Ni heshima kubwa kabisa kabisa. Tanzania oye! Naomba tukae.
Okay.
Dr. Mwigulu Lameck Nchemba, Minister for Finance and Planning, honorable ministers and deputy ministers from both Tanzania, mainland and Zanzibar with us here, permanent secretaries and deputy permanent secretaries, Your Excellency Manfredo Fanti, European Union Ambassador to the United Republic of Tanzania, Excellencies, ambassadors from the European Union member states, Your Excellency Cedric Merel, EU Head of Cooperation to the United Republic of Tanzania, Governor of the Central Bank of Tanzania, Madam Rose Senyamule, Dodoma Regional Commissioner. I've seen some district commissioners here with us from the Dodoma region. Thank you for coming. I also acknowledge the presence of security organs from Dodoma region. Thank you for coming. Representatives from the private sector and civil society organizations, religious leaders, government officials, members of the press, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is another great day for Tanzania, and indeed a great pleasure for me to be invited to this important event to witness the signing of 3 financial agreements between the government of the United Republic of Tanzania and the European Union in support of our national budget. I humbly wish to express my profound appreciation to Your Excellency Ambassador Manfredo Fanti, the Minister for Finance and Planning, Dr. Mwigulu Lameck, and the teams from the European Union and the government of the United Republic of Tanzania that made this event a reality and a successful one. This grant will significantly contribute to an accelerated implementation of development programs in our country. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, during my visit to Brussels in February last year, 2022, I had a chance to engage in discussion with the President of the European Commission, Her Excellency Ursula von der Leyen. I'm delighted that one of the outcomes of that visit was the formulation of programs which have triggered this second disbursement of 46.11 million euro, following the first disbursement of 21 million euro dished out in June last year. The disbursed fund will be directed to policy reforms, as it has been already said, and sector development in the areas of blue economy, finance growth, gender, green and smart city, promotion of digitalization sector, as well as improvement of rural roads in the Southern Highlands region. Your Excellency, Ambassador Manfredo Fanti, kindly convey our gratitude to Her Excellency Ursula von der Leyen for this big support. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, for decades, the European Union has been one of our strategic partners in development and an inspiration in our quest to pursue progress and prosperity for our people. This is testified by the amount of financial support that has been extended to Tanzania. That has been extended to Tanzania since the signing of the first partnership agreement between the European Union and African, Caribbean, and Pacific states in 1975. So far, Tanzania has received about 2.3 billion or million euros, which is equivalent to 5.9 trillion shillings as grants, and a huge amount of money on loans, but concession loans, not commercial loans, from the European Investment Bank. So these funds have been instrumental in the implementation of various strategic development programs in Tanzania, including the formulation of macroeconomic and social or sectoral policies, development of roads and air transport, improvement of energy and agriculture sectors, environment and climate change, just to mention a few. These are projects implemented under the KUTOKA Partnership Agreement, CPA, of which the government of the United Republic of Tanzania considers with high regard. We say thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we recently have witnessed the signing of 3 programs under EU-Tanzania Annual Action Plan 2022, and these programs include Blue Economy, and the amount of funds have been said, Finance for Growth, and Cooperation Facility, of which each one has certain amount of funds, a big chunk of funds actually. We have had the details of the programs during the remarks by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Finance and Planning. I wish to take this opportunity to commend the commitment made by the EU as our key development partner to these programs, and efforts made by both government experts and EU delegation that have culminated the signing of these agreements. The disbursement made as a grant to the government coffers is fully aligned with the strategic sectoral and Tanzanian development plans, particularly the National 5-Year Development Plan 3, Tanzania Development Vision 2025, and the Zanzibar Development Vision 2050. The programs will also complement the theme for the financial year 2023-2024 as adopted by the East African Community, which says accelerating economic recovery, climate change adaptation and mitigation, and enhancing productive sectors for improved livelihoods. So exactly the amount of money dispersed to Tanzanian government is going to accelerate those things and going in line with the East African Community theme for this financial year. Invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, earlier today I had a chance to meet His Excellency Ambassador Manfredo Fanti, who is about to end his tour of duty as the head of EU delegation to Tanzania. We very much appreciate his outstanding leadership. He really did a good job. During his tenure, great strides have been made towards promotion, strengthening, and deepening relations and cooperation between the United Republic of Tanzania and the European Union. It is also gratifying to note that during his tenure, the amount of trade between Tanzania and EU has nearly doubled from $1.3 billion in 2019 to $2.1 billion in 2022, accounting for about 10% of the total trade in 2022. It is also worth mentioning that the improved cooperation has witnessed an increase in number of tourists from the European Union from 362,393 in 2019 to 449,200 in 2022. And this accounts about 31% of the total visitors in 2022. We also note with appreciation that the organized Tanzania-EU Political Dialogue and Tanzania-EU Business Forum of February 2023 have paved the way for Tanzania's business community to the global economy. Before, it wasn't possible, but now the business community can go as far as they can. On another stride, as a result of the political dialogue held in February 2023, the window for the European Peace Facility has been opened for Tanzania in a bid to support peace operations and preventing terrorism across the region. That's another window opened for Tanzania. With all these achievements, it is indeed a great pleasure, and it was indeed a great pleasure, working with Ambassador Fanti, with the European Union team, in strengthening Tanzania-EU relations. We wish Ambassador Fanti the best of luck in his future endeavors, and please continue to be a good ambassador of Tanzania. Thank you so much. During our discussion, he left me with 5 issues to consider, and they are regional and national. And I promised and pledged my commitment that I'm gonna work on those 5 issues. I also wish to let him go with my 3 requests. Number 1, Tanzania is implementing the Building a Better Tomorrow program for youth and women in agriculture. So we are expecting to use the Tanzania Agricultural Development Bank and the Tanzania Investment Bank to fund the youth and women involved in these projects. So my humble request is for the EU to consider the addition of 2 other banks, the Tanzanian Agricultural Development Bank and the Tanzania Investment Bank, in the lending and loans program, which has benefited some other banks. Number 2 is my humble request for the completion of the ongoing process of the new partnership agreement between EU and OCP. And I'm requesting this because my government needs to know the new framework of the cooperation so that we get prepared. So I'd like to see the agreement signed and my government get ready for the new cooperation under the new framework. And number 3, just looking for the possibilities of adding Mwanza Airport in the Airport and Roads project. Because Mwanza is becoming a hub of the ICGLR zone. Yeah, so being a hub, we need an international airport, also other infrastructure facilities that could be able to accommodate the neighbors to come to the hub and get the services they want. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I want to reaffirm the commitment of the government of the United Republic of Tanzania to continue working closely with the AU for the mutual benefits. And finally, I wish to reassure that the funded programs shall be implemented with diligence and effectiveness. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for this offer. Thank you.
Yeah. Jamani, naomba wote tusimame, tumpe makofi mengi sana Mheshimiwa Rais kwa jinsi ambavyo ameelezea furaha yake katika shughuli hii leo, lakini jinsi alivyozungumza na watu wa EU mpaka yote yakaweza kufanikiwa. Tumpe tena makofi mengi sana sana. na amemthibitishia Balozi Fenty na wenzake kwamba serikali yake itasimamia kidete kuona kwamba fedha zote zitatumika inavyotakiwa na kwa misingi iliyokubalika. Haya ni mambo makubwa. Basi tena kwa niaba ya Watanzania wote tumpe makofi mengi Mheshimiwa Rais. Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, tunafahamu muda wako si mwingi, lakini kwa tukio hili tunaomba tupate picha chache za kumbukumbu kama ifuatavyo, na niwaombe hapa nyuma kidogo tuwe na nafasi ili tuweze kukamilisha. Picha ya kwanza ni waheshimiwa mawaziri na manaibu waziri wote. Picha yetu ya kwanza hiyo, makatibu wakuu na manaibu wao wajiandae. Hakuna mtu ana furaha leo pamoja na Mheshimiwa Rais, lakini Balozi Manfredo amefurahi sana kwamba mambo aliyoyasimamia kweli ameleta matunda. Mheshimiwa mawaziri, basi naomba mtazame kamera, mfurahi kidogo kwa sababu hii jambo ni kubwa na linaingia kwenye historia. Naam. Naomba mtokee upande ule kule. Makatibu wakuu karibuni, na manaibu katibu wakuu. Sasa gavana wa benki kuu naomba tu join hapa, maana hamna ujanja hapa. Hizi fedha zinaenda kwako, kwa hiyo wote ni watendaji. Naibu gavana naomba uje tafadhali. Picha inayofuata, the second group photo will be the EU delegation. Yes, after this photo, then followed by the EU delegation. Yeah. Mheshimiwane kwa vimo tu jamani. Yeah. Asante sana. Urefu ni amri ya Mungu, ufupi amri ya Mungu, lakini labda tu unene ndio juhudi zako jikoni. Asante, naomba mtokee kushoto kwangu huku kwangu. Naam. Now the EU delegation. You're welcome. Yeah, please. Make sure all distinguished ladies are flanked. Yes. Joe? That's very good. Now this is the EU delegation. Picha inayofuata ni viongozi wa dini. Naomba mjiandae mje hapa tafadhali. Asante sana. Thank you very much. Kindly take leave. Waheshimiwa viongozi wa dini. Viongozi wa dini wanatusaidia sana kwenye magumu wapo, kwenye mazuri wapo. Hii ndio inavyotakiwa namna hii. Sheikh naona mmefurahi. Picha inayofuata ni wakuu wa taasisi za umma na wale viongozi wa civil societies. Kama mko wengi tutagawanya kidogo, tutaona. Mlio upande huu kwangu simameni hapa kwanza. Njoo nimsimame hapa. Ngoja wamalize upande ule kule ili iwe rahisi. Naomba sogea kidogo hapa Masu. Yeah. Sasa naomba mfurahi kwa mashirika mambo mazuri, halafu picha inaonekana mmekasirika, itu sio mzuri. Mko serious kweli. Hii ndio inavyotakiwa namna hii. Yes. Asante, naomba mtokee kule kulia, please. Naomba becha pili. Karibuni. Mheshimiwa Rais, nilifuatwa hapa na watu wa civil societies Sisi je? Nikamwambia mmo tu, kwa sababu haya mambo yote yanatuhusu wote. Naomba msogee kule mbele kadu. Naona hapa kwa Mheshimiwa Rais watu hawataki kuondoka. Picha inayofuata. Asante, naomba tutokee kwangu huku. Picha inayofuata sasa, Mheshimiwa Mkuu wa Mkoa, wakuu wa wilaya na kamati yako ya ulinzi na usalama, tafadhali. Naomba tufanye haraka kidogo. Ona Remedius disiwa Kongwa na wangetamani wawe katikati kidogo, lakini ndio mkuu wa mkoa yuko hapa. Wewe mzee, mbona huko mfupi? Nenda kule mbele kabisa kule kwa askari pale uonekane na wewe. Furahini. Hawa ndio Dodoma ni fahari ya Watanzania. Asante sana. Shukrani. Uongozi wa Wizara ya Fedha na Mipango, the management. Karibuni. Hii naona ndio itakuwa picha ya mwisho kama sitaelekezwa vinginevyo. Asa kwa sababu mko wengi, hebu naomba wengine msimame kwanza hapo. Naomba msimame hapo. Njoo ni huko wote. Na kule naomba msimame wengine mliobakia tafadhali. Haya, naomba mliangalie, naomba tupige picha tafadhali. Asante. Tayari? Asante, naomba mtokee kwangu huko na wengine kule, naomba na nyie mje hapa tafadhali. Naomba tufanye haraka tafadhali. Ukikosa hii picha hutaipata tena picha kama hii. Yes. Wakipesi. Asante, naomba mtokee huku. Wakipesi. Yeah. Hii inaonekana ni maalum. Hata watu wenyewe ni maalum. Kamati ya maandalizi, picha ya mwisho kabisa. Kamati ya maandalizi wote njoni hapa tafadhali. Hiyo ndio picha ya mwisho, sitarudia tena hapa hapa. Haya, asante. Kamati ya maandalizi tafadhali. Mheshimiwa Rais, na mimi naomba hii niibie na mimi, maana yake sina hii picha nyingine. Na Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, hii ndio picha ya mwisho na kwa kweli sasa niseme tumefikia tamati ya shughuli yetu. Kwa heshima kubwa naomba tusimame tuweze kumwaga Mheshimiwa Rais kwa furaha kubwa, na brass band tuongeze katika tukio hili. Makofi mengi kabisa kwa Mheshimiwa Rais anapoondoka nje ya ukumbi huu. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Waziri Mwigulu Nchemba, Katibu Mkuu na wote. Hakika jambo limekuwa ni zuri sana sana. Naomba tukae tafadhali. Basi niseme asanteni sana kwa ushirikiano wenu, na hapa tumefikia tamati. Kwa hiyo sasa tunaweza kuendelea na shughuli zetu. Tunaanza pia kusalimiana na wageni wetu, na sisi wenyewe tukiagana. Mungu ibariki Tanzania, Mungu mbariki rais wetu. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much, our colleague from the EU delegation. Thank you for being with us here, and whatever you have done to us, really we appreciate. Thank you very much. Welcome again to Dodoma, the land of wine and grapes, and the only piece of land in the world that we harvest grapes twice a year. Thank you.